helps if I mute myself. Oh, this is... Oh. I haven't streamed in my headphones for a while. It feels... weird. I may end up talking much louder today. In fact, I'm going to take my headphones off because I will have to take a break an hour in, so... Well, about an hour in. Yeah, the wonders of noise cancelling actually working. It's been 15 years. But those there, well, they will absolutely fall over later. Oh no, our soup was served far too cold. Oh, beloved pet. Hmm. Time to go to the cabinet room. You make your way to a seat, still dazed. All around government ministers. Logothletes? Huh. And civil servants are shouting at each other in agitation. It doesn't seem real. Surely the real you is still lying safe in bed. Adrift and confused, you stare up at the imperial portraits that overhang the cabinet table. I can't voice act. Father, Mother, I never really knew either of you. Your mother died when you were very young. You barely remember her. You have only pictures and her name. Imperial Consort Melania of Crystal Nova, a place outside the Empire which you have never visited. Emperor Dragosin was a busy man with no allowance for a child's demands. You were raised on the Mirkan homeworlds by your governess and a series of boarding schools. You saw your father only at official functions from a distance. You've only been here in the Heavenly Palace for a season, learning at his side. And now... Speak one at a time, or we cannot hear ourselves think. Mazarin, you are His Majesty's shadow, sworn to defend him at all times. How can you not know what happened? Were you not at his side? Emil Miro raises his head. The Emperor received a message from the science labs that one of his top secret projects had made some kind of breakthrough. We went down to see it at once. One of the cabinet ministers, your father's... I'm going to have to look that word up. Good, it's nice to have a word I have to look up. My nose. It itches. Bless me. Wow. Okay. I had to sign up for an account just to fucking look at the pronunciation there. Okay. Logothete. 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 Okay. One of the cabinet ministers, your father's logothete of science, immediately questions, what manner of project? The researcher was attempting to create short-range personal warp fields. The assembled ministers break out in shouts again with cries of impossible and but the physics. Science impossible fail. You don't understand any of the technical babble. Note, this is a skill test. You'll see bubbles like this throughout the game. You can disable them in the settings menu. Cool. Any school child knows the basics though. Only very large ships and structures like this palace can travel through warp gates to distant parts of the galaxy. No single person can teleport from a bedroom to a boutique, even if it would be very convenient to avoid crowds. Two seconds. I'm just going to check that wasn't my housemate coming home an hour early. That was not my housemate coming home an hour early, which means... But Jesus! My neighbours made some noise. Yes. Yes. We went to view the equipment and speak with the researcher. Ragosin sent me to another lab to check on some readings. He is my first loyalty, so I obeyed without question. He has kitty ears. Then I heard the sound of an explosion. I returned to the lab to find that the equipment was destroyed and the researcher and the Emperor had disappeared. Yeah, test it on yourself, bud. No bodies. No. Any records of what tests were run, what the machine was trying to do, where it might have sent them? No. Everything was destroyed. How can you know nothing? He doesn't answer. No bodies. Is it possible that the experiment worked and your father was transported somewhere in the Heavenly Palace? That he's just injured, maybe? Or unconscious? And that's why he's not here? It's more likely that he was thrown out into space or sucked into another dimension or ripped into tiny pieces and scattered like confetti. Wrap your arms around yourself and sink down into your chair as the ministers argue around you. All gone. Princess Serana? What? You are the designated heir. Yeah, for a while. I'm probably going to get sick of it. So, part of the gameplay loop in Long Live the Queen, and I assume this game as well, is that you die and end up having to replay. And there's just different ways to win as well. So there's lots of different ways to win and different ways to lose. So you end up going through the first bit a few times. So I figure like the first go through, I'll narrate until I get bored. And then after that, I'll only read, like, new things. But I'll probably get bored of it because I cannot voice act. Whether that's a conceit or an actual lack of ability, I don't know. Hard to tell. Also, hey. How you do? You are the designated heir. In your father's absence, it falls to you to make decisions for the Empire. You must decide what we do next. But If the Emperor is dead, then the Empire must be informed and the official mourning period begun. However, with no body present, the procedures are less clear. Yeah, alive is... yeah... My mouth is uncomfortable. Should we officially announce I'm going to keep stumbling over the weird words. This is the third time I've pronounced it, so... Dragoson's death, or delay the inevitable until an investigation can be concluded. Yeah, tea. Hey, Omni. I can read out and make it sound, you know, questioning or authoritative, but voice acting is in different voices, not so much. But hey, Omni, hope you're doing good. Okay, so make the announcement or delay. Delay if he's definitely dead. It's just a bit of a bother. Make the announcement if he isn't dead. Also problematic. I'll delay. It's the first time, I may as well delay. It's the middle of the night and no one's sure what's happened yet. Maybe there are clues we haven't seen. There could still be hope. There's no need to rush. Very well. The Celestial Ministry will organise a full investigation. Also, let me know if the background music needs turning up. There is a buzz of agreement and plans to sweep the entire palace for any clues to the Emperor's fate, with a special focus on the Science Division. We must also consider the possibility that this was not an accident. Ooh. Hello. A tall woman leans forward, her earrings swaying. She is the Imperial Thresher, head of intelligence and the secret police. You've never really spoken to her? Her reports to your father were always made in private. If it was well hidden. There's been no sign of any plot against the Emperor this Fivim. Cool. Great. So many words. You will pursue it. Of course, but this must be handled discreetly. We don't want any word to leak that the Emperor is missing, especially when we don't know the truth. There could be panic, chaos. Enemies would take advantage. And in such uncertainty, we must devote extra attention to the safety of the heir. He turns to you. You don't have your own oath-sworn bodyguard at this point, do you? Oh, hang on. I just got a notification on Twitch because there's a Cult of the Lamb drops. That has reminded me I did not yet turn on activity. How do I do that? Oh no, I don't remember how. Hang on, I'm once again going to have to Google. View docs. I looked at that. Sure fucking didn't. Okay, let me... No, that is not at all what I wanted. Let me... Why are you being like this? Welcome back. I hope you had good tea. Aha! Ha 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 ha. Okay. I don't know why shrinking the window worked, but hey ho. No, just the regular guards. Then I volunteer to stand as your bodyguard, Mommy, until a proper rotation can be established. If you wish it, I will sleep in your quarters and keep you safe from harm. Bet you will. He wants to stay in your bedroom? Your private sanctum? He's a stranger, and a stranger whose entire job is to snoop and spy. But it could be safer to have her present, if you feel that you can trust her. If not, you'd be volunteering for your own execution. I will take it. Can you truly trust anyone in this palace? Nope. I accept your offer. He says nothing, only nods. It is probably best for you to sleep while you can. There will be little time for it in the future. Oh, thanks. Because your dad is dead. You're welcome. With the meeting broken up, you disperse into the hallway. Princess Serana. I was bound by your father to give you a message in the event of his death. Focus on your studies. The skills you gain can never be taken from you, and they may mean the difference between life and death for yourself and the Empire. Yeah, I know how this works. Build a pool of trusted advisors as quickly as possible to strengthen your power base. But always remember that your own knowledge is more valuable than what you hear from others. That's all. Nothing personal. No secrets. No final admission that he loved you. Nothing. Yeah, I would... Yeah, same, Omni. You have been a weak and spoiled flower, but you are Dragosin's child, and if you survive, you will be Empress. I mean, yeah. Spoiled? How dare? It is what your father told me to say. Learn quickly. He walks away. Here you are, in complete control of your own life for the first time. What you choose to study will give you the skills you need to become Empress, or else doom you to a brutal fate. You'll show them all. You have to. Once you've slept, you must choose your first set of classes and begin your journey. Serana can learn many skills, some faster than others depending on her current mood. Click the question mark next to a skill set for more information. Okay. Oh, gunnery. Guns. I think endurance is probably a good place to start. And then reflexes. Maybe repair, given the situation of things. No, let's just start physical. That's the codex. Oh, it's the brain. Oh, I see. Oh, that's the settings. Okay. No, no. Aha. Text speed. Once again, you lie in your bed. This time, sleep bubbles up easily. Your mind and body are exhausted from the stress of the days since your father disappeared. Only in sleep can you relax. There are noise. Something just fall over in your room. You're so tired. Something bumps against your bed. You hear a scuffle and a scream? You activate the lights to find Karundi crouched over the body of a Hyrkan woman, freshly dead. The blood is smeared all over Karundi's clothing. The assassin has been dispatched, Your Imperial Highness. See, she was a good move. And it's definitely about her competence. Thank you. We will remove the body and investigate her connections. I'll have someone clean the carpets in the morning. You watch in silence as Karundi and the guards carry the mysterious woman away. She was strangely dressed for an assassin. She looked much more like one of your father's concubines. Why would someone like that want to kill you? Because it's a good disguise. If Karundi hadn't been here, how are you supposed to sleep now? Every turn, you will have the opportunity to interact socially with characters who are present in your current location. At the moment, that's people in the Heavenly Palace. As well as visiting Karundi the Thresher, you can also spend time with your pet, which will affect your mood. Yeah, snake. A pet snake likes to twine itself around your arm or curl into luxurious coils upon a pillow. Your own body isn't quite as flexible, but it's fun to imagine and you enjoy relaxing together. Choosing this pet gave you the starting skills in Allure and Contortion. I did wonder where that came from. What is your viper's name? Snake name! Snake name! Oh, whoops. I accidentally scrolled back. Garifina? Ka. Green, Slither, Sir Soleil, Soleil? Melania, Majabi. Slinky. Ka. Isn't Ka like... Is that the Jungle Book snake? I can't remember. I like Slinky. I'm going to spell it like this. No, not Spinky. Slinky. I don't distrust him, but I don't trust him either. Let's check the codex. Oh, neat. Oh, I remembered. Vivim's basically a year, right? Oh, slightly less than 5 Novan years. So second Vivim would be like 8. American reaches adulthood after they have completed their 4th Vivim. Oh yeah, 20 years. It's 5 years. Wings! I can have wings! Ah, the heeeere are the winged ones. Meow. Cat. So Muro are Sphinx cats. And the Merkins are the elves. Grey elves. Understandable, snakes are cute. Arcana insect. Okay. I think she just saved my ass. I'm going to spend time with her. Oh, not a voter. Grant skills. What does grant skills mean? Yeah, food is important. What do you mean grant skills? Is this a thing? Good day to you, Imperial Princess Serana. My agents are not aware of any current threats to your personal safety. Well, that's good at least. What did you find out about the woman who broke into my room? Who was she working for? Her name was Esmerai. She was a member of the Emperor's harem. According to my agents, she believed the Emperor was going to marry her and make her consort. His disappearance meant the end of her hopes. That may be what made her angry enough to kill you. How did she get into my private room? She obtained override codes somehow. We haven't been able to trace the vector. Esmerai was not a skilled hacker and not in contact with any known subversives. She fucked a guard. Her only notable society connection were to Zolot, Elector of Kidral, but he wouldn't have had those codes either. Kidral, one of the twin worlds in Sector Marker 1. That's where you grew up. You've met Zolot socially before, though you don't know him well. We have rekeyed all of the systems, of course. However those codes leaked, they will no longer function. Well, whatever happened, it's dealt with now. Children. Okay, so that's just that. He's definitely loyal to our father, but that doesn't mean he's loyal to us, and it doesn't mean he doesn't want his own life now. So... What a good friend! Visit. You gently stroke your viper, enjoying the feeling of scales against your skin. What a comfortable life it leads. All slither and bask. At the end of each turn, you can choose an activity which will change your mood. How do you want to prepare for the turn to come? My brain is like, admire the Imperial Doritos. Or have a dinner party. What is that? Portraits. It's portraits. I'm not good at reading things on their side. So I assume this will make me more compliant and this one will make me social? If I want reflexes or body control. A double bomb. I would really prefer that, but I guess that's not an option. I'll go social. Go social. You invite some of those residents in the palace to join you for an evening of food and entertainment. You are summoned again to the cabinet room, where the ministers are assembled. To our great sorrow, there have been no signs of Emperor Dragosin's survival in the Heavenly Palace or anywhere else. Please report on your investigations. Corundy stands. No subversive organisations have claimed credit. No unusual activity or celebrations. No sign that this incident has leaked outside of the palace itself, although that can't last long. The missing researcher, a heeeeere by the name of Three-Forked Lightning, was known for alternative practices and generally considered a crackpot by other scientists. Love a crackpot. Three-Forked Lightning was personally recruited by Emperor Dragosin to work on this secret warp project, a posting it could never have received by merit. Unlikely that it would then betray the Emperor. No enemies known that would go to such extremes for sabotage. No sign of suicidal inclination or other mental break. Personal records show only enthusiasm about the research. I leave it to you to explain the technical details. The head science minister coughs. We have tried to recreate the Three-Forked Lightning's research, but key records are missing, possibly stored in the equipment that was destroyed. The only experiments we can trace created unstable warp fields that immediately collapsed, destroying the targets in the process. Nothing suggests it would ever work. It was madness to try. Yeah, it's always madness. Other ministers speak up, but they all come to the same conclusion. Your father was killed by meddling with bad science. It was just a stupid accident. We are now honor bound to announce the death of the Emperor. Wouldn't you agree, Princess Sorana? Yeah. Etiquette basic fail. Very well. Then the Celestial Ministry is permanently disbanded. Thank you for your service. You may depart. The ministers, except for Grundy, rise from their seats. Most nod their heads to you in respect before departing. Others just walk away. Ooh. What happens now? Now, the election cycle begins. You are Dragosin's heir, but you cannot claim the Imperial throne until you are claimed by the majority of the Electoral College of the Comitia. Every elector is a noble from one of the Imperial worlds, each with their own interests and motivations. You will need to speak to them individually to win their support and make deals where you can. You are also in need of a new team of advisors, now that your father's ministers have been dismissed. By Imperial custom, you may not rehire any minister from the previous cabinet. Rude. Makes sense. With certain exceptions. The Thresher will always advise you on matters of intrigue. The High Pontifex will always take the role of spiritual advisor once you win her support. It is the same for your military advisor, the Star Admiral. The High Pontifex and the Star Admiral aren't here right now. They have too many duties of their own to stay in the palace all the time. You'll have to seek them out. You now have knowledge skills. When you have access to an advisor, you can use their knowledge as if it were your own. Advisors will also help you train your knowledge, but a bad advisor can lead you astray. Oh, so that's what that meant on her profile. You might win an elector's loyalty by offering them a position as your advisor. It is a great honor to join the Celestial Ministry. You might also winning someone's loyalty by making an offer of marriage. Marriage? Marriage alliances are traditional. But you haven't even had your adulthood rights yet. You're still an adolescent. Old enough to be betrothed, yes, but would you really want to barter away your future like that? Marriages are for life. Your father had a fucking harem. As your father's heir, you provide direction for the Heavenly Palace. At your command, you will travel the Empire so that you can meet with your electors. It's all so much to take in. You have enough to worry about with your classes. Thank you. I'll speak to you again later, definitely, for sure. What should you study next? Okay, so... Oh, so these knowledge skills. Oh, okay. Let's learn. Etiquette and intrigue. Hey, Halbert. I don't know why your right pal didn't play. Oh. Oh, it did. It must have just been too quiet because I've got the desktop audio down low. My bad. Oh, Halbert. Well, a couple of weeks back, I did have to rebuild my streamer bot, which is what deals with the alerts. So, could be Twitch? Could be streamer bot? Who knows? Yeah, let's intrigue and etiquette. I am opening my Pepis can. I apparently need to cut my fucking nails. I started it as a joke, and now it's just a habit. Princess Serana. Here are the regular status reports. You eye the stack of papers with some dismay. The Imperial Harem has been cleared. All of your father's former concubines have been sent on their way with appropriate gifts and thanks. Some will no doubt wish to return for the official funeral, but for now it's safer to keep them away from the palace. We don't need any further disruption. That's probably for the best. When is the official funeral? Certain ceremonies to bless the Emperor's passage have been carried out already, but the full state funeral will not take place until a new ruler holds the throne. Until then, the Empire is guided by his spirit. I also thought doing this would help me practice reading out loud, wording good, you know? This brings us to an issue which requires your attention. Mazarine, your late father's shadow, has not yet carried out the ceremony to end his life, as honor requires. It wasn't his fault. It was an accident. There's nothing he could have done. That does not matter. The Emperor's shadow must follow him into death. Have you spoken to Mazarine? He has confined himself to his quarters, fasting in vigil. He claims that he is waiting for the Emperor's body to be found before holding the ceremony. Hard to cut your throat at your master's feet when the feet are missing. Yeah, that's fair. Mazarine's loyalty is not in question, but the Emperor's physical form may be forever beyond our reach. What are your commands, Your Highness? I mean, I feel like we can give him a year or so, right? Like, yeah, we might never find a body, but it'd be better if we waited and yeah. I'm sure Mazarine would rest easier if we could find the Emperor's remains. Until we have final proof of the Emperor's fate, or a new Emperor takes the throne, it is not a dishonor to wait. You gather up the papers and hurry away to your room before you can be presented with any more problems. In your room, you check your messages and discover that you've got mail from some of your school friends. They send you their condolences about your father's death. Of course, the news must be reaching across the Empire by now. It has been a season since you've seen any of your old friends, since your father called you away to the Heavenly Palace and named you heir in your brother's place. You have a brother? At school, your two dearest friends... Kazenia? Xenia? I'm going to say Kazenia. And Vasily. Kazenia loves gauzy dresses that blow in the wind and make her look like a dramatic heroine. She's fascinated by rumours of magic and alien powers and knows more about your Novan heritage than you do. Novans are the people from the first game. Xenia was also a far better student than you were, especially when it came to computers. She loves finding out secrets and insists that the crystal she keeps by her keyboard gives her special hacking insights. She's enthusiastic, bubbly, and a bundle of energy. Vasily, on the other hand, is much more laid back. He's handsome, artistic, and prefers to charm his way out of situations rather than do any actual work. Typical man. He's quite intelligent when he puts his mind to things, but he'd rather use that intelligence to have a good time. Vasily always had devoted fans following in his wake, and he was kind to all of them, but never seriously in love. As far as romance went, you had a crush on... Okay, are we gay? Are we straight? Are we bi? Are we ace? I personally would be a neither of them person. Yeah, I'll go neither. Your bond was about friendship. That's more meaningful than some fleeting crush, correct? You really miss them. For now though, your social interactions are limited to the palace. Ooh, I can denounce and survey people. Hey, Cody. How you doing? You stop by Mazarin's quarters to try and speak with him, but he won't open the door. Tadeo said the Shadow was refusing to leave his quarters and claimed he will not eat or sleep until your father's body is found. Perhaps he's hoping to meet his end that way. In any case, it appears he's not willing to meet with you. Ah, that's fair. Not aware of any current threats. Oh, and that's it. That's all my options, apart from pet the pet. Let's see. What would excited give me? I don't... Okay, that would be neutral. Okay, so condition, domination. I think I'll stay social now. Oh, I can do it from this one. Neat. Can I choose not to? Hang on. Oh, safe age. I can't access the thing from here. What if I wanted to stay social? Hmm. Ooh, scarf time. You go out for some wild exertion in one of the palace ballrooms. Okay, let me... Where's the codex? There it is. Oh, doesn't say. I thought it would have a thing. Oh well. At the end of the term, you can direct the Heavenly Palace to walk to a new location. Yeah, how has the weather been up where you are, by the way, Cody? Nice. So the cats are in love with any radiators you have then? Oops, wrong button. Rude. I'm sorry that they did that. Okay, so everybody is neutral. Everybody is neutral. It's good. Good for gamer. Let's go there. We have a problem. There's always a problem. Mazarin has disappeared. What? He stopped responding to messages. When we overrode the security lockout on his quarters to see if he'd done his duty, we found them empty. How can an important political person, the Emperor's own shadow, just disappear out of the palace? Weren't you watching him? He never ordered surveillance on Mazarin. Rip. He said he was completely loyal. Your Highness, my agents have been more concerned with your safety than with the safety of a shadow who is due to enter eternity in the near future anyway. Well, did he die somehow? Did he make another warp portal to follow my father? On last reported sighting, he was headed for the hangar decks. Hangar decks. It seems likely that he smuggled himself out of the palace on a spaceship. As the Emperor's shadow, Mazarin was trained in a variety of techniques. Stealth, surveillance, infiltration, hacking. He's quite hard to track. Has he gone rogue to save his own life? Or is there more to the story? Maybe he found out something about the experiment. Maybe he's trying to throw himself to a warp gate to join the Emperor. If he took a one-man shuttle and flew it into a warp gate, he would be obliterated without causing any harm to the palace. Speculation. Princess Serana, it falls to you to make decisions in Dragosin's place. What is your official response to this situation? Okay, so if I claim he performed the ceremony and then he turned out alive, that's going to be a problem. Doing nothing, I think, is going to make these guys pissed off with me, so hunt him down. He can't get away with disrespecting my father like this. I want him hunted down and brought back to the palace in chains. Very well. At last, they leave you alone to plan your class schedule. So probably in about 10 to 20 minutes, I'll have to take a little break to help my housemate pick up something heavy that was delivered to a different house. So, just so you're aware. But, for now, let us go. Reflexes again. Love reflexes. And more intrigue. There are more messages of sympathy waiting for you in your mail queue. These condolences are labelled from your Novan family. What family? You don't know anything about your mother's relatives on Crystal Nova. Since she died, they've never visited or reached out to you in any way as far as you know. They might have sent something for her funeral, but you were very young and you don't remember the details. Are her parents still living? Did she have siblings? Do you have cousins? You wonder for a moment and then decide that it doesn't matter. Crystal Nova is no part of your life. You are dedicated to the Celestial Empire. It's almost an insult that they would reach out to you now, considering. And then it hits you. This message wasn't from some unknown cousin. It's from your brother. Prince Washcott, your older brother. Like you, half Mercan and half Novan. Unlike you, he held responsibility from a young age. He was named heir to the Celestial Empire upon his birth. He blazed a trail through the top Scholariums and led his squadron in military service. And then he turned traitor, stole a fighter and defected to Crystal Nova. Prince Washcott has a warrant on his head if he ever dares return to Imperial space. You haven't heard from him since. Let's go miss. Your ages and different upbringings meant that you weren't as close as some siblings, but he was still your brother. He used to visit you on Kidral, and tell you stories. He escorted you to balls when you were too little for a proper partner. More importantly, if he were here now, then you wouldn't have to deal with all his politics. Washcott was supposed to be the heir, not you. But he betrayed the Empire and ran away. You don't even know why. Let's find out. You don't have time to think about this now. You're an Imperial princess. You're busy. We could ask. If we're getting email, we could just email back. Marker Prime, the Twin Worlds. Kedral and Ondral. Kedral and Ondral. The heart of the Celestial Empire. Your home. In many ways, your childhood felt like an exile. You were raised on a small Kedral estate in the care of your duenna. While your brother was heir, you were never called on to attend your illustrious father in the Heavenly Palace. You were the second-string child, unnecessary, out of sight. And yet, you were an Imperial princess, attending school with other children of wealth and power. Every Tresson you received invitations to... Tresson? Tresson? Yeah, Tresson. Every Tresson you received invitations to anything from ritual sacrifices to operatic competitions. This clifftop castle is nothing new. You have walked these halls before, and you know what shoes to wear. You know, that's fair, that's often a mood. No time for email. Only strat. Tonight you are the guest of honor. Every person of rank in the Twin Worlds is lined up to greet you and offer their sympathies, their respect, and a ceremonial gift. There is no time for anything more, not with so many waiting for even a moment of your attention. It is, of course, the 6 local electors who are uppermost in your mind. 3 from Kedral? I can't decide how to pronounce that. Kedro? Ondro? Kedral? Ondral? Kedral and 3 from Ondral. This single sector is the pivot for the balance of power in the Celestial Empire. However, you cannot seek them out. You must wait for the queue to proceed as tradition demands. Just saying that. Kind of. She was saying that she was stressed, so she wasn't gonna, like, think about it. But she could have just sent an email and asked. Oh, how do we add quotes now? Hang on. I haven't actually... Good news. I forgot to put quote back in. In my defense, StreamerBot went down the day after I had to reset it. Like the website and everything, so I couldn't do anything. Let me... Okay. Oh, weird. My triggers definitely work. Let's see. Okay, so I will edit that text. No, that used to be the thing. But it changed with the update. Okay, not sure why it's bringing up your name in that. I miss Nikki. Okay, so where? Oh, hang on. Why am I showing as only partially connected on StreamerBot right now? Yes, Nikki, was... What would it be? Something manky. Where are my quotes? Why aren't you connected to Twitch? You were connected to Twitch before. Oh. See, they made this more... They tried to make it more user-friendly and made it less snags-friendly. Aha, aha. Quotes. Oh. Okay, okay. So it does log. Okay, so it logs who makes them. So maybe if I change... Okay, so it's not actually showing me any option. Oh, hello, 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 hello. Oh. Okay. Okay, so I guess quote time or date maybe. No, time. I think time. Okay, let's see. Okay, okay, now we have the time instead of that. I know where to edit it. I can worry about other things later. Yay, streamer bot. Why are you only partially connected? Oh, I think it's because it thinks I have a bot account. Okay. We'll worry about that later. It needs an update. Whatever. I'll sort it later. Point is, quote, sorted. Theoretically. It's all very stuffy. You'll be trapped standing in one place for hours. You can't spend time with anyone you like or avoid anyone you loathe. By the end of the night, your feet will declare war on your knees. Mood. Really? Premises? I've been using the C as an S a lot because so much seems to be from either the Greek or the Latin, so... Right, I've got plantar fasciitis. I wouldn't be able to make it an hour. The premises of the twin world take precedence, followed by the Kefalis. Kefalis. They bow, they kiss the air above your hands, they present you with an array of identical platinum coins stamped in your father's image. It is some time before the first of the electors reaches the head of the queue. I see. Zolot of Kudral. You recognize him easily. He dresses for that effect, but you have never known him well. Too old to have been your friend, too young to have been a schoolmate's parent. Zolot's first husband has passed into eternity. He is here alone. He also had some kind of connection to Esmerai, the woman from your father's harem who tried to murder you in your sleep. There's no proof he was involved in any way, but he did know her. This is not the time to make a scene and antagonize an elector who might be innocent. He bows to you, wings fluttering with practiced charm. Your Imperial Highness, may the gods bring you favour. He says nothing more than that, merely offering his coin to your attendants and withdrawing. You can't tell how he feels about you. Who the fuck is this depressed little man? This is a little freak. The next elector to approach you is Krovos of Undral. He is the only one of the cohort that you have never met before, for the plain reason that he is far too young to take on the responsibilities of the position and has never been invited to any formal gala. Right? This is My Hero Academia. It's giving Soul Eater. This is a Soul Eater character. You vaguely heard about the death of the Regent of Ondral's child elector last season, but shouldn't someone else have been appointed to the position? Krovos to be here alone implies that he has stepped into the full role. There is precedent for allowing adolescent heirs to take up positions when necessary. You yourself have not had your adulthood rights, but Krovos is only a child. It's most unusual. He's a baby. Hello, Your Highness. How are you? His manners might be acceptable at a child's party, but they're totally wrong for this occasion. How would you know? You have not been studying your etiquette, lady. I know, I'm the one who is in control. He ought to be addressing you as Imperial Highness. He's such a little boy, younger than you, and he's all alone. You can be generous. I'm very well, thank you. He grins and hands over his coin. Look at that little freak. He's like 5, apparently. Nah, he's adolescent, but not old enough. He's like 14 or something, if he's younger than us. Maybe 12. Maybe he's 12. Happy birth star. It's not... never mind. The little boy wanders off. His task complete. You can't tell how he feels about you. Am I going to get that every time? The next elector who approaches is Vata, also Ondral. He's an older male who's never married and has no children that you know of. He's always seemed kind. Your Imperial Highness, it is my great pleasure to see you here tonight. I hope to see you carry on the legacy of both of your parents. Thank you. Very weird that you would mention my mother. She's been dead for more than 10 years. He bows, offers up his gift, and moves out of the way so the next guest can proceed. You can't tell how he feels about you. After a few other senators have come through, the next elected to approach is heeeeere of Cadrao, scion of a long line of politicians and very familiar to you. The academy you attended until recently lay within the territory he represents, and he was a frequent speaker at graduation ceremonies. heeeeere is in attendance with his wife, both impeccably dressed save for his ever uncontrollable hair. He looks at you stiffly, then bows, offers up his coin, and withdraws without speaking a word. That's worrying. You can't tell how he feels about you. The next elected to appear before you is Ixil of Ondrau. He is notable in the Twin World Society for having a large number of acknowledged children, one of whom attended your academy a few forms ahead of you. You were hoping heeeeere would be here tonight, but there's no sign of her or her siblings. The large number of acknowledged children is blowing my mind. Because it's like, what do you mean that whatever, like, she seems like, what is it, Merkin? They can get others pregnant? Like, because if she's an elector and she's, like, in charge, it doesn't matter whether or not she acknowledges the children, right? Because, you know, she'd have to give birth to them. But if she can have acknowledged and unacknowledged children, does she just, like... I mean, I wouldn't put it past the dev to be like, well, they're aliens, they can do whatever, right? But then that begs so many questions of physiology? Yeah, physiology. And how that works. Does her species have cloacas? But they have breasts. That implies some form of mammalian descent. And if the different species can interbreed, like the Mao and the Merkins can, then obviously they descended from one single point. And in the previous game, which is still relevant to this one because it's obviously where Crystal Nova is, it was very much a women give birth and it was humans. It was basically humans, and they all have to be somewhat descended from humans with some genetic variation if they're able to interbreed. And then have viable offspring who can then breed further. And it's not like it's just a straight up choose your gender at adulthood because you are a princess and your brother was prince. But anyway, Emperor Griel, apparently. But then these are the guests of highest prestige. Heirs and offspring rank lower and maybe further back in the queue. Ixil stands by her husband's side, smiling at you. So she's polyamorous, married, has just so many affairs, and a lot of children. Got it. Love her. Hello, Your Imperial Highness. You're looking well under the circumstances. We're very sorry for your loss. I know this time may be very difficult for you. Please call on my household if you have any need. I think I respect you, lady. I think I want to know more about you. They present their gift to you. Oh, so there are they. And leave, smiling. No, she they? Okay, she they. You can't tell how she feels about you. The last of the electors to make an appearance is Milan of Cadrao. You are surprised to see him attending alone. Perhaps his wife is unwell. She's much older than her husband, after all. I like all their star patterns on their faces. Equally unusual, Milan appears to be entirely sober, which is not his typical demeanour at social gatherings. Perhaps this is a show of respect? She might want to get me pregnant. God damn. Your Imperial Highness? He thumps a fist to his chest. Glory to your line. He nodded acknowledgement and he hands over his ceremonial coin. Until another meeting. So he's killed his wife to get with us. Got it. He marches away with purposeful motion, his back straight. You can't tell how he feels about you. That is the last of the electors, but certainly not the last of the guests. A long evening stretches ahead of you. Of course, there is one more vote to be cast within this sector. However, its holder is not the sort of person who can be expected to wait in line to pay her respects to you. If you wish an audience with the High Pontifex, you will have to approach her as a supplicant. For now, you must raise your chin and look regal. Yay, Codex. Now that you have met the electors of the region, you can contact them privately during future social phases in this sector. I think social. Your screen is chiming incessantly. Someone on your contacts list is trying to call you. Hello? Oh, I guess this is Vasily? Yeah, Vasily. Hello, Zarana. Oh, hello, Vasily. Kazania pushes her way into view. Zarana, we're here to support you in your hour of need. Well, we're not here yet. I mean, we're here, but we're not there here. But we could be, if you want. Huh? What she's saying is that we would like to visit you in the Heavenly Palace, if that is not an imposition. You shouldn't be all alone at a time like this. And you shouldn't have to deal with entertaining us and trying to look the right amount of sad if that's just more stress for you. However, if you would enjoy the distraction, and the hugs, and the chance to show off all your new stuff, then we will happily fly out to see you. You want to see your friends. They at least don't want anything political from you, probably. But you're still pretty overwhelmed with everything you need to manage here. You have time to play hostess? If I have time to pet my fucking snake, I have time to play hostess. I would love to have you visit, but it may not be that exciting. Everything's in turmoil around here. That's fine. We're happy just to be with you. Aww. Thank you. We'll see you soon. Okay. I've got a good basis in intrigue, and I've still got her around, so I'm not too worried about that right now. Let's go etiquette and I guess allure. We've got some already because of the snake. Yeah, she runs up and throws her arm around you in a hug of greeting. Vasily follows more sedately, not laying a hand on you in this very public environment. How are you? How have you been sleeping okay? You look tired. What have they done to you? She fusses over your hair while you try to explain about the election and the need to assemble a team of advisors. That must be very difficult, putting your fate in the hands of strangers you cannot trust. Yeah. Hey, that's a marvelous idea. What? We could be your advisors. I know a lot about other galactic cultures, and Vasily knows all about art and stuff, and then you'd have people on your team that you trusted. Also, if you appoint us to your cabinet, then we'd be assigned quarters in the palace, and we could stay here longer. Otherwise, we can only visit for a Tresson. Okay, they haven't told me what a Tresson is yet. Don't decide anything right away. We'd be happy to help, even if it's only for a little while, but you have many responsibilities. If you want to make those plans, we can talk later. That's right, that's right. For now, you need to show us around your palace. Who the fuck? Oh, I guess that's the Pontifex. Oh, so I can investigate her background first. Yeah. Officially, all Mercan priests sever ties with their families when they join the Sakura. They can never marry or have children, and are not meant to play any part in house politics. However, fondness and friendships sometimes remain. According to records, Heeeeere originally hailed from a wealthy trader family and pushed herself to the priesthood as a young adult. She received distinctions at Scholarium and was never engaged and had no known connections with any of the electoral dynasties. She rose through the ranks of the servant Decalo, one who watches the sky for auspices. As a young woman, she was often called upon to preside over ritual sacrifices, which is apparently something that still happens in the society. However, she chose to step back from public ceremony, busying herself with the bureaucracy and internal debates of the priesthood. She's a lifelong politician. Upon the death of the previous High Pontifex, a sacred council was convened to decide upon a successor. Details of that process remain a divine mystery known only to the elders of the faith, but the final decision must be unanimous. Heeeere's rule is unchallenged. As for her personal life, Heeeeere has maintained a long-term connection with multiple younger priestesses. Those of the faith are not required to be sexless, only unmarried. Okay, so she's a lifelong politician nun. Yeah, granted permission. Let's go say hello. Space Nun. As High Pontifex, Heeeeere is not dedicated to the service of a single deity, but presides over the Mercan faith in general. She may officiate or instruct at any temple if she chooses. That is why her title is Her All Holiness. Lux Imperius, let's kneel. Gracefully sink to one knee, acknowledging her authority. Strength be with you. And also with you. Yeah, cool. I have come here to humbly request your support and your blessing for me to succeed my father to the celestial throne, as was his wish. Will you join the celestial ministry as my spiritual advisor? You reach for a crown of stars, but the blood and the soul of the Mercan people lie here upon the stones. Older than the Empire, older than flight. Half your blood is foreign, but you were raised and educated here on Kajal, correct? Yes, at the Ishinka Academy. But where is your faith? Where is your soul? Do you offer your tears to Gamajan for wisdom, or do you dance for your mother's good lady? You don't know all the names of the Novan goddesses, or which of them might be titled the Good Lady. Your mother certainly never passed any faith on to you. You were raised in the Mercan faith and made all the proper offerings, but you can't really be described as devout. Religion has never been a major priority for you, and you don't spend much time thinking about it. Still, it's all you know. I'm a Mercan, not a Novan. The High Pontifex takes a hold of your chin and stares deeply into your eyes. Your faith is shallow, weak, untested. Heeeeere takes a step back, regarding you impassively. Princess Serana, as Empress, it would often fall to you to enforce the law, should other channels prove insufficient. As you should already know, pledging oneself to the priesthood is a bond for life. Like marriage, it cannot be undone. What would you do if you were presented with a priest who had tried to flee his duty and disappear back into civilian life? What remedy would you propose? What does she want from you? Does she want to hear that you are ruthless? Or does she want to judge how clever you can be? A priest is bound for life, but if that person started as a new life, their priest self would no longer exist. just as a new initiate severs all ties to their past life and family when they join the priesthood. Could a priest cut off that past identity and become someone new? Let's say reborn. The priest has betrayed their vows and therefore must cease to exist. They must give up everything, including their name, and be cast out as anathema to begin a new life. As simple as that, they wish to leave, so they leave. It's not simple at all. Birth is complicated and painful. There'd be a gauntlet they'd have to pass through, a trial of fire and knives. Not all would survive. One has to face death to win a chance at a new life. You don't really know what goes on in the temples behind closed door, but it sounds like the kind of spectacle they'd enjoy. Yeah. So, you value freedom. She falls into silent contemplation. You are young and your path is uncertain. You must seek a sign of favour from the gods. How do I do that? I will give you dispensation to enter into a ritual starfall match. We will see which direction Fortune's blades will slice. Starfall is a popular sport among merchants, but quite rough. Star-tipped javelins are thrown from a player to player along the length of a field to reach the goal. A player holding a spear may not run, but must quickly sight and throw the star to a teammate. There is an exception. Any player who is pierced by the falling star is allowed to run with the spear still driven into their body. Striking one of your teammates in this way also scores an immediate point, even if the blow turns out to be fatal. Professional Starfall players are highly paid and have legions of screaming followers, but they all know that every match might be their last. Okay. Let's go fucking watch the spear sport where you might die. Woo, sounds like a great time. My housemate said she was going to be back about 6, but she isn't back yet. And she hasn't messaged me. Sport is also played religiously, for divination purposes, and there the injury rate is even higher. Your academy put you all out on the field once or twice as part of your regular exercise routine, but with the star replaced by a puffball, and so many special safety rules that not even a nose was broken. That's no preparation for a serious match. As for the deeper strategy of the game, you don't have a clue. Test your fate, and then return to me. Thank you, Your Royal Holiness. It's a dangerous task, but the support of the High Pontifex could be very influential among Mercan nobles. How badly do you want it? You can't tell how she feels about you. Ooh, that was my housemate getting back. Okay, I will be back in like 10 minutes. He's saying now we're unsupervised, but it seems that unsupervised Omni is asleep. But also back. Yeah. She could not have carried that back by herself. The treadmill is like 20 kilos. It's not an end of the world amount, but carrying it a few doors down. And it's long. It's like as long as us because we're both short and wide, and it's top heavy. Now, if it had been delivered to someone else, if it had been delivered to the wrong house, ooh, ramen. I would have waited for my housemate to come home before moving it. However, because it was already past the door frame, I could just like, I could slide it across the floor and then like tip it over and then push it up the stairs, like using physics. But I would not have gotten it from another house. Even I'm not that dumb. Probably. Yes. Quest of fucking spear, whatever. The spear game that kills you to death. That's so many. Oh, I see. Let's make friends with the 12-year-old. Cat, obviously. We dig into the background of Krovos, Elector of Ondrel. Krovos' short life has been marked with more misfortunes than even your own. He was an only child whose parents were both killed in a transport accident. Krovos, still very young, was confirmed as the future Elector, and his guardianship was assigned to a minor noblewoman as regent. This new guardian chose to educate Krovos at home rather than send him to a school. As her own children were already adults, she purchased a child from an orphanage to serve as his playmate. This was considered to be a great act of charity and kindness. Yeah, sure it was in the fucking Victorian ages. Two seasons later, the child's body was found face down in the estate's Glow Moss Pond. It was recorded as an accidental drowning, and as the child had no family to raise complaints, the case was quietly closed. Official records, however, suggest that the child had been beaten before death. Okay. Most recently, the regent held a family gathering to which Krovos was not invited. He was left at home with the servants. At that gathering, a meal was served with poisonous mushrooms mixed into a salad, killing all but the regent's eldest daughter, who hated salad and didn't eat any. The court's still debating whether the cook or the daughter is to blame, but it was not socially acceptable for her to take over Krovos' guardianship while under such a shadow. In the end, it was decided to let Krovos assume direct control of his inheritance despite his young age. Interesting. Some believe Krovos to be cursed or perhaps blessed by the touch of death himself. Already there are small cults within his territory that revere him as an avatar. Others see him as the victim of a scheming family who hope to usurp his electoral control, only to be brought down by their own plots. Have you considered that he's the plotter? In any case, his name is already so marked with suffering and scandal that it is hard to imagine any blackmail attempt having an impact. Well, that's where we thought. Huh. Okay. There's the list. Honestly, I would prefer being social, but let's go condition. Senior and Vasily left late last night, but Steo dragged you out of bed first thing in the morning for an important meeting. We have received a message from the Star Admiral. Oh, right, you need to meet with him to discuss your candidacy for the throne. He doesn't have an official electoral vote. As the head of the Imperial military, his support, or lack of it, will affect how others see you. He reports that an Iskvatel has been sighted far past the Draug system in unaffiliated space. What's an Iskvatel? A space-dwelling organism which feeds off solar radiation. They are drawn to stars to feed, and a swarm of them can block out a great deal of light, disrupting the ecology of any planet. Which nearly wiped out the entire Novan civilization. Oh. Just because you're half Novan doesn't mean you've researched Novan history. The creature is not currently on a direct route for Imperial space. Their movement patterns are unpredictable. It could approach Draug. The single Iskvatel and the Draug system has no planets to threaten. The danger is not high. Admiral Yakov awaits your instruction. Oh, ramen finished. Okay, let's go. Reflexes, and I guess fucking... we're gonna need sports. Okay. He's so suspicious now. I don't trust. Ixil is in many ways an unremarkable elector. He comes from a respectable family, but not a noteworthy one. He carries out her required duties, but is rarely present in the Imperial Comitia outside of major events or strongly whipped votes. She is considered religiously devout, but makes her observances at temples within her region of Ondral. There is no record of her ever having been admitted to the presence of the High Pontifex. Among the Mercan nobility, Ixil mostly stands out for her large number of children. You know at least 6 of them. What you never realised until now, though, was how many of Ixil's babies died during infancy due to genetic defects. Any fertility labs. So they still have ritual sacrifices, but they do have fertility labs. Any competent fertility lab could have detected and prevented those problems. She must have been relying solely on natural conception. Oh, never mind. However, while others might agree or disagree with her position, it's not a secret and not a scandal. So yeah, Emperor Griel. Fairy, one of Ixil's daughters, attended the Ishinka Academy with you. Though she is a bit older and was in a different form. You were never close friends, but you did admire her. You haven't heard anyone mention her recently. Let's... I do have a little bit of a lure. But I don't... I guess empathy is important, huh? What is this explore social network? Oh. Neo Facebook, but it's just spies exchanging gossip. Your Imperial Highness, a request for aid has been sent to the Heavenly Palace by our embassy in space. The Kukuk are big and blue and have horns. That's about all you know about them. Their space borders the Celestial Empire, but you've never seen one in the homeworlds. They have apprehended a Tharkan merchant, a citizen as Fargas, and are holding him on charges of smuggling recreational drugs through their space without paying the proper fees. The charges appear to be valid. The Djuk wished to sentence him to a lifetime of hard labour. The merchant is pleading for your intervention. This is a Tharkan problem. Okay, let's just go all in on empathy for a day. Okay, so hang on. I go see my pet, I'll become indulgent. And then I'll be able to get back to... Well, I could go compliant. Carter is an older male with a reputation for calmness, wisdom, and common sense. He's often regarded as a mediating influence capable of helping different factions reach agreement on issues. He's never married and has no children. Carter does have a long-term romantic partner, a male Merthin who is neither spouse nor concubine. Private records show that they once investigated a marriage license but were determined to be genetically incompatible and unable to produce legitimate children together. Ah, I see. Despite these difficulties, they have remained together for many films, and neither has been seen to take on any other romantic involvement. Carter once borrowed a large sum from his district's tax funds to use for personal home redevelopment. When questions were raised about this, he apologised and paid back the money. No charges were ever filed, but there are hints that a few bribes may have been paid to avoid closer scrutiny. Interesting. Good middle of the road, Common sense. Okay, so he's positive. I kind of want him on my cabinet. Huh. Not what I wanted. Okay, so not something to do with money. He's not gonna be a science boy. What's an external curator? Okie doke. Good night. Have good, well, have restful non-spoon time. Oh, okay. Oh, I should have done an external curator, huh? Oh well. I can load. Holiday. As we officially have no emperor at the moment, it would not be unreasonable to postpone the Jubilee until after a successful election. We could maintain the current schedule and celebrate in honor of Emperor Dragosin on turn 28. Or, using your position as the Emperor's daughter, you could move the Jubilee to match your own birth star on turn 15. Oh, I didn't have a bonus on etiquette, but... Visited the palace, a Hyrcan labourer became publicly intoxicated and made a nuisance of himself. Among other things, he was loudly shouting that Emperor Dragosin had been murdered by your hand. Another Hyrcan? What? Obvious drunken nonsense, but as it concerns your reputation, you may wish to take a personal hand in the matter. We have him in custody awaiting your decision. Obviously, you did not murder your father. Is it possible that someone did? Does this Hyrcan know anything? Is there truth in the wine? Or is it just drunken rambling? Yeah, just the norm. I'm kind of curious what was going on with Milan. Golden child, secure family fortune, good but not exceptional student, with much of his attention at Scholarium devoted to music and athletics, formed in an operatic ensemble, and competed at a planetary level in glide jousting. Fortune's blade soon cut the other direction. Milan was critically injured in a sporting accident and spent several seasons in medical rehabilitation before he could walk again. While he was out of action, the family fortune suffered a severe setback, with vast sums lost in a failed investment. Milan's father suffered a nervous breakdown and retreated to permanent seclusion. Milan's mother cut him off from the family funds as soon as his health was secure, claiming there was simply too little left to go around. It was at this point that Milan's drinking problems began. Milan married a rich elderly widow and began campaigning for his own advancement. He was not a hereditary elector, but won the popular support when the seat became vacant. From shattered dreams, he has rebuilt himself into personal success, but he rarely seems happy about it, especially when he's drunk. Milan has no children, but his wife had a daughter from her previous marriage, Eterli, who is very near Milan's age. He's also married, but spends a great deal of her time alone with Milan in secret. They may be carrying on a scandalous affair. Milan's wife died just this season, which is why she did not attend your reception. Was it natural causes? It's certainly convenient for Milan and Eterli to have her out of the way. This also means that Milan is once again available for marital alliances. I see. He's definitely career politician type. Lucamere has lived a life of wealth and privilege, not so much as an imperial heir, of course, but then much of your childhood more resembled an exile than a political education. Lucamere's family have excellent connections. He has been embedded in the Twin Worlds Society since before he could walk. You're actually distant cousins multiple times by some number of directions. Just enough for his family to be said to have imperial ties, not enough for it to count for anything. Most nobility is connected somehow if you go back far enough. Lucamere attended the finest academies, but his grades were haphazard. He excelled at languages, literature, and debate, but not so much at science or calculation, and he was known for skipping classes and handing in late assignments. His talent with words always smoothed over any difficulties. At Scholarium, he was known to be part of an exclusive secret society known as the Brotherhood of Bones. Their practices remain largely hidden from non-members, but they were reported for both wild parties and heretical experimentation. During Lucamere's student seasons, a young scholar from a lower-class family died mysteriously on campus. It was rumoured that he had perished while attempting to carry out a sequence of dangerous tasks in order to win admittance to the Brotherhood, but they denied having any such entry rituals. As an adult, Lucamere is now respectably married. He and his wife are patrons of many worthy causes, and he is a motivational speaker for schools and businesses. They have no children so far. Lucamere is known to be a flirt and an admirer of many, but has never been caught in any scandalous affairs. No, I'm just trying to be nice. But she still likes me, it's fine. Huh? Emperor Dragosin's secret heir? No. Nope, an unmarried woman of common family and middling income. She apparently came into contact with the Emperor during one of his visits to Wandrow. The child's genetics have not yet been verified. Even if her story is true, if she's not a wife or a concubine and the child was never officially acknowledged, and it wasn't, your father's will was quite clear that he has no son now. Such a baby has no birthright to claim. Under Imperial law, family is a matter of contract and obligation, not genes. Many children are not genetically related to one or even both of their parents. Children can be conceived artificially. Genes can be edited before birth. If someone finds an unscrupulous doctor, genes can even be stolen. Creating a child of someone's genes without their permission is illegal, but it does happen, especially with celebrities or other prominent figures. Your father certainly was prominent. This story is nothing but tabloid gossip. No one in the Empire would seriously imagine that this baby was the heir to anything. But if it is in some way your father's child, what are you going to do about it? Whoever this woman is, she's Merkin. That means the child's heritage is not mixed in the way that yours is. There are people in the Empire who might prefer a pure-blooded heir. Ignore or adopt? If I adopt, that's a lot of responsibility. I'm like 10. I ignore. It could be a problem, 20 years down the line when the one true king shows up or whatever. But I'll ignore him. Go etiquette and... Should I go double etiquette? Let's go double etiquette. Oh, what a waste. Blinky. None of these people are competent. I feel like Ixil will just go along with the greater vote. Provost is a problem. Zola is a whore. Did I? No, his background would be here if I investigated him. Zolot's father never married. Zolot was the only child of his favourite concubine, a winged beauty of unknown family. Zolot was a pampered child, raised to use his looks for his advancement, and as an adolescent married a much older man who is now deceased. Zolot's inheritance and control of the electoral seat has been challenged by his elder half-sister Sertra in a bitter rivalry since childhood. In the past Fivim, Zolot has been engaged in a scandalous romance with one of Sertra's concubines. He has repeatedly offered to buy the boy's contract and been denied. Recently, Zolot proposed marriage to Savetka, a woman from a respectable Mercan family. She accepted and a lavish ceremony is being planned. However, his intended bride is actually Sertra's lover, whom Zolot has lured away as part of a scheme against his half-sister. Zolot's plans are uncleared, but the odds are high that the wedding, if it actually happens, will lead to some dramatic confrontation between the rival siblings. So he just keeps stealing his sister's lovers, got it. Good for him. Oh, cool. In a not cool way. Well, I don't have any of those, so... Man, I want rice pudding. Okay. So he's a Tory party member, but like an inoffensive one. He's like, well, less Tory party. He's more an Eton graduate. Eton. Yeah. Like, rich asshole society. Milan and Ixil are self-made. I respect that. I don't know what he's good at. Oh. Interesting. Interesting. But he won't return my call either. Oh, I was gonna move. Oh well. Yeah, thought so. Oh, interesting. Your father speaks. Now that your daughter has been born and your mother cuts him off, angry in a way that you've never seen her in any photograph before. That thing is not my daughter. It is your creature and I refuse to have any part in. And there the file cuts off. Who would send you something like this? Maybe it's a misunderstanding. It's only a few moments out of context. Maybe they weren't talking about you at all. Or maybe your mother hated you. What an awful thing to say about a baby. A child. Which you obviously are. Legally, you are a child of the marriage. Biologically, your Merc and Novan heritage is written all over your skin. You are Melania's daughter, and she called you a thing. Maybe she wasn't well at the time. Or maybe it never happened. The video could be a fake. Where did it even come from? You try to compose a reply, but it won't send. The system believes the address is malformed. Then how was it received in the first place? What this isn't is security footage. This was not recorded by any automated system in the palace. This recording was taken by someone else who was present in the room at the time, standing at the Emperor's side. His shadow. The most obvious suspect, yes, but it could have been anyone with intimate access, a concubine or maidservant. Might have been that close. I'm so gassy today, I think it's because I'm talking so much. The screen fills with letters and symbols that you can't easily make sense of, but the Thresher frowns. The message was sent from somewhere within the palace, but on time delay, it could have been set up Trescent in advance. I'll have to check the server to see if there are any access traces, but someone talented enough to bypass these systems would probably know enough to cover their tracks. Who would keep a fragment of a Fivim's old recording and then hack a palace system to send it to you anonymously? It sounds like the sort of thing one of Thresh's secret agents would get up to. But as far as you can tell, Grundy doesn't know who sent the message. Trace the sender. Find out anything you can. Of course. Have you received any other suspicious correspondence? There was that strange encounter you had with Mazarin before he disappeared. The one where he wanted to give you a message from your father. Well, where's my water? There it is. Whoops. Let's successfully check. Thank you. You'd rather not tell the Thresher that the Emperor, your father, called you weak and spoiled? Now, okay. Okay, let's think about this. Thing, daughter. Theoretically about you could be another daughter, a genetically modified one. Why would we be a thing? Is it related to why our brother defected? Curiouser and curiouser. Okay, so none of these guys are like military. I'd like the current military person to be. You know what I can do? I can just save. Oh. Oh, no, no. 30. No. No, he's not. Does she only have 30s across the board? I guess she only has 30s across the board. Oh. That's just such a mess. Nobody wants to be involved in that. No, he's just like, won't talk to me at all. don't think I know enough about that right now. The Zolot and Milan won't even talk to me anyway. Oh. Rovos and Vata enemy? And Ixil are enemies? Interesting. Right, she's very religious, and there's theories that Krovos is death culty. You know what? Oh, so you just decided no. Rude. Yeah. Expected. Ooh. Your eyes fall upon a tall, willowy woman whose hair has a gleam of platinum. Makeup enhances the keenness of her gaze, making her age hard to guess beyond adult. The silk gown is coloured like a cascade of flower petals. Really? Doesn't look like it. At her side is a middle-aged woman with a pleasant smile, wearing a dark-coloured dress of demure sophistication. Thin traceries of silver jewellery glint when they catch the light. This is Morel, Elector of Inya. Ina? Your Imperial Highness, it is my great pleasure to welcome you here. May I introduce my wife, Yangi? You exchange pleasantries. I should have added my friends to my thing. Okie doke. Good luck. Don't get too cold. Have fun. What's environment again? Okay, let's save. And save scum again. Well. Morale was born to one of her predecessors' harem rather than within a marriage, but was formally acknowledged as heir. She is married and unusually devoted to her wife, Bianchi. Morale holds no harem and has never been caught in any hint of scandal or affair. Location may also be a factor in the lack of gossip. Anything that happens on Kinya is of limited interest to the rest of the Empire. The region is rarely covered in general news reports. Morale and her wife have 2 sons, Oral and Mirko, both of whom are too young for betrothal. Okay, now we save again. Babysitting it is. I don't have any of these. No, I'm just gonna be a bit. Okay, yeah. Right, mood. Where am I? Cautious. Oh no. Depending on the temperature of water, that can be a real bitch when it's this cold out. $10 over that? I mean, I get not wanting your renters to like escalate problems. Oh. I guess it must have been hot water then. Unless they poured it like inside parts of the car or in the engine or something. Oh, I can investigate now. Yeah, I guess if it counts as vandalism. It depends on whether or not it was like... If it was annoying but essentially harmless, like cold water over the handle to make it freeze shut, 10 days would be a bit... It's a bit short notice. But if it did actual damage to the car, then yeah. Like if they used hot water, that could cause so many problems. If they put water directly into the engine, that would cause problems. It's unnecessary escalation any way the road goes. Okay. Let's go to Mal. That's just weird. I mean, I guess it was a shoveled spot. And they spent all that time shoveling it and then someone else took it. Which I can get being put out about and wanting to complain about, but you don't vandalize someone's car over it. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. There's just so many, like, decisions that led to that point that I just don't get. I want her on my team. I haven't died yet. That's nice. The Mao, the first alien race to be discovered and admitted to the nascent Celestial Star Empire. At least, that is the Mercan perspective. The Mao consider themselves equal founders, for without them there was no empire, only Merca. The Mao system contains one large inhabited world, its moon, which features heavily in Mao religious practice, and a chaotic asteroid belt, too dangerous for large ships to explore. There are no other planets suitable for colonization. The electors of Mao Prime are pleased to visit the Heavenly Palace and make themselves known to you. The third elector of the system, however, is their religious leader, the Chief Witch, or Head Shaman. For that meeting, you will need to make a pilgrimage to the Blind Eye, the ever-clouded moon. As the Heavenly Palace is frequently visited the Mao sector, the palace staff are quite capable of designing decor and refreshments that will be acceptable to the local guests. They do, however, pose you a question. Mao, even more so than full-blooded Mercans, have excellent night vision. For social gathering and entertainment, they prefer very dim lighting. Your own eyesight, however, is less adapted to the dark. If you can't see what you're doing, you might embarrass yourself somehow. Yeah, right? I was just thinking that. Cat. Erilotti, Elector of Mal Prime, is a mature woman, but the flesh of added fivms does not make her soft. I don't know, she looks like she'd be very soft. The man with her, most likely her husband, is clearly in her shadow. He talks, and he only nods. When she sees you, she comes forward, and he fades into the background. Greetings and salutations, Your Imperial Highness. Are you enjoying your party? Wow. Thank you, I'm having a lovely time. The Imperial family is always welcome when they visit our sector in search of knowledge and enlightenment. Is she hinting that she wants to become one of your advisors? A reception like this would not be the appropriate time to make an official appointment. Oops. Tutelist. The second Mal Elector bows to you, then bounces back up, brimming with energy. It's such an honor to meet you. I only wish the circumstances were better. My sympathies for your father, of course. Have you visited Mal before? You blink, of course. Of course. You blink, thrown a bit off stride by such rapid-fire enthusiasm, and he laughs. I promise, I have not had more than one drink so far. I'm just excited. I introduce you to my lovely wife. That's the wrong way around. You have the higher rank. He should introduce his wife to you, not you to her. Otherwise, it'd be a clear slight on your status. He's clearly nervous about speaking to you. That may have rattled him into putting his words in the wrong order. I'm not pronouncing that name. He brings forward a golden-furred woman who he introduces as his wife. Like the Elector, she is not much older than you. She purrs a kiss over the back of your knuckles and then quickly returns to her friends. So cute. Tutelist watches the sway of her tail tip as she walks, pouting slightly. I'm sorry, I hoped she would be more impressed. I kind of want to. But etiquette says I should probably move on. Oh, that's gonna get out. That's gonna be a problem. Okay. I don't think flattering is gonna work. Ah. He's already on the other guy's side, huh? You are led not to a sorry, I got distracted just reading. You are led not to a temple, but to the site of an unlit bonfire. Here, the chief witch stands in conference with their fellow shamans and their assistants. You can only tell them apart by the different robes and other trappings that they wear. All the faces are veiled. They might be veiled, but they've all got different fur and ears, you fucking racist. Greetings, Princess Zarana. You've come as a pilgrim to walk the path of truth and seek the blessings of the ancestors. Have you brought an offering? No one told you that was required. Rude. You can't actually learn spirituality or imperial history. Solitus is considered something of a young firecracker. He's only just become an elector, and not through inheritance. The previous elector for the region died without a direct heir and left the succession up to society's vote. Solitus won through charisma, campaigning, and a high youth turnout. However, he also made a number of claims in his campaign that don't hold up to scrutiny. He dropped out of the school he claimed to attend, only briefly volunteered with the military rather than being recruited by them, and the business he started was only a childhood mint bag stand. As an adolescent, Tutelist was a thrill seeker who was repeatedly in minor trouble with the law. In the worst incident, he was caught attempting to navigate the asteroid belt to steal sacred flowers from a planetoid only the shamans are allowed to set foot on. That would be quite a scandal if known. Helitus has never had any serious relationships other than his now wife, whom he appears to love dearly. She, however, has dated others and is reportedly in talks to secure her first official concubine, but the process has been unusually dragged out. They have no children at this point. Oh. Oh. Poor kitty. Poor kitty. Despite having been confirmed in her post for many films, Elati married only later in life. Her husband, Yalo, is a gentleman who prefers home life to politics, and her son and heir is still too young for betrothals. By all accounts, a picture-perfect family. However, this was not her first relationship. Previously, Erilotti pursued an engagement with a man who eventually jilted her in favour of her younger sister Heine, a socialite and media presenter who licenses her face as the author of ghost-written books she never reads. Relations between the siblings have been frozen ever since. Ever since young adulthood, Erilotti has been linked in a romantic friendship with another woman, Linnea, an old school friend he married young. It is not clear whether or not they are lovers, but Linnea spends far more time with Erilotti than with her own husband. If it is an affair, it would be a mild embarrassment for all parties, since both women are married to others. Not, however, a world-shattering scandal. Right. Let's go. Do visual arts. Right, after this social thing, I'll social turn will end. Right. Let's see. Oh, right. What a good cat. Okay, so I'm kind of interested in how blackmail goes. I'm just gonna... Okay, so she won't even talk to me to get blackmailed. Oh no. Oh. Ugh, nothing. I can't do anything with Arilotti or Mustis right now. I need spirituality for her. Okay. Okay, right, I'm gonna end it there. On Friday, I won't be here. I'm going to see Iron Lung in cinema. So I'll be back next week. Thank you for joining.